All right, everybody, this is Craig Valine, and this is the 7th in a series of 8 Ultimate Lead Generation Machine workshops or coaching calls after your investment in the Ultimate Lead Generation package. And we'll get started here. Today's topic is how to find the hidden gold offline in your own customer list. Now, although the topic is ultimate lead generation machines, right, lead generation, this has a lot to do with maintaining that relationship once you've started it, once you've attracted them as a lead. So let's get right into it. So it all begins with the list. They say the list is the most important asset in any business, and I mostly agree with that comment. It's really the relationship that you have with a list. I have a friend whose wife has built one of the biggest online phonic learning programs in the country, and they have a list of about 100,000 people, but they haven't emailed to them at all. They haven't maintained that relationship, and they keep on saying that they have this this value, and I disagree. I think it's the relationship, the constant communication with them. It's like if you have a dear and valued friend, would you not communicate with them for 5 years? No, you gotta communicate. Okay, so they say it is the number one most valuable asset in a business, but again, remember, add that comment to it. It's the relationship you have with the list. Okay. Andrew Carnegie said, "If you stripped me of all my wealth, my home, my business, my bank accounts, etc., but allowed me to keep my list of customers, I shall be wealthy again within the year." So that's a pretty powerful statement, okay? So it's like learning to become a millionaire. If you lost everything, could you build it up again? Of course you could, because you knew how to get there in the first place. If you lost everything and you had your list, you can get it all back in short order, okay? So the trap, it all begins with the trap. That trap is, and this again goes with lead generation, right? It's the place where the prospect's name, address, email, phone, fax number if possible are captured, and of utmost importance, permission is secured. So it's always important to have that privacy notice at the bottom of an opt-in box. When you're asking for an email address, say we will never share or sell your name to anybody else, but basically you want to give permission by saying, by entering your email address, you give permission to you and your company to email you, sharing information of value to the list, right, to them. Where's the trap? So online, it's an opt-in form, might be a squeeze page, free offers, offering a free report, free CD, free recording, free video, whatever. But again, it has to be high value to them, okay? Might be simple for you to create, but it's high value to them. Offline, it might be a pre-appointment questionnaire where you say, I just have a few questions to ask. So before we begin, what's your name, what's your address, what's your mailing address, etc., etc. So you capture that information as much as possible, and as much information as possible, so that you know them, so that if the more that you have, the more rapport and connection you have with them, right? Might be a registration form, might be an order form, might be them calling a recorded message and leaving their name and mailing address at the end of the call. If you wish, when you're doing lead generation, it allows you to run smaller, simpler ads, keeping the front end costs low and investing more in your resources of interested prospects, because it allows you to say who it's for and who it's not for. And again, I can't emphasize that enough. I think I do. But you've got to be speaking to a very specific who, all right? So it's got to say who it's for, and if you're not this person, then don't even respond, because there's a lot of freebie seekers. I went to a chamber meeting, and I tested a different approach to saying, this is who I am, this is what I do, and if you want more information, come up to me. I offered a free copy of my book. Okay, but I had checked these boxes off if this pertains to you. Are you currently advertising, and do you want to take your business to an entirely new level? If they checked off one or both of those, I would offer them my book my physical book, and I would send them a shock and awe kit. But if they didn't check on those, then they were only going to get an email PDF version of my book. So, because I want to know who it's for and who it's not for. There were a bunch of people who said, oh, free, I'll take the free book. No, I don't want you. I want the people who are advertising who are looking to take their business to another level, mainly because people who advertise are already spending money to invest in a customer, so they understand what their business is about. The best and cheapest way to learn this methodology, again, is by playing prospect to people who already have lead generation systems, in place. So become a customer of people's lead generation opportunities. See what they do as a follow-up campaign. Number one, to get you into the funnel. What's that free offer that's getting you to opt in? What are they offering? Number two is, what's the follow-up sequence? Okay, great place to become a guest, I guess, is Technology Marketing Toolkit .com. Technology Marketing Toolkit. I think it's something else, but I'm going to break away here and find it for you. The woman's name is Robin Robbins, and she's a GKICer. Technology, if I can spell it. Technology Marketing Toolkit. Let's see if it comes up. She has an excellent follow-up marketing sequence, and it comes in about a series of 10 different things, including she uses the worry doll that was featured. TechnologyMarketingToolkit.com. Get on there, fill those fields out, and it is for VARs, value-added resellers of technology, so IT consultants and stuff like that. It doesn't matter. Get on our mailing list to see what she does. Oh, that's loud. Anyway, so do that when you have a chance. Get on her list to see what she's doing. All right, next one. Quick exercise. So identify all the pertinent information you require about your prospect in order to make smart marketing decisions. So, for instance, if you are running a college planning or a college resource business, what are the things you need to know about the family, their income, the people in their family, how many kids they have, right? Because you've got to know, like, they may be fishing for one child who's about to enter college, but what about the other kids that are going to be coming up that line, right? What information do you need to trap to make good marketing decisions? Okay, how much can you spend to acquire that customer or that client, because you know that over time they're going to be worth an abundance. Okay, and especially you could spend all the way up to, I would say, $1 less than what you'll make from them, because that's the value they bring to make a profit. Okay, I'm not suggesting that, but I'm saying you can spend as much as you'll make over the lifetime, because that's the profit they're going to bring. Okay, but consider referrals, consider other business that might come from them, consider once they go off to college and they get married that they'll come back to you. You know, think of all those things. There's extraordinary value in that, so you have to make good decisions when it comes to that. Okay, so identify the exact time in your sales process when you're able to acquire this information. Again, it might be just name and email address when you're giving away a free video. So again, free stuff in advance, free valuable stuff is very powerful to get them to take that first step. But to capture all that information, you've got to provide extraordinary value. So if you want to send them a free CD, if you want to send them a shock and awe kit, whatever it is, you can only do that after you've given that extraordinary value up front. Okay, so decide when in the sales process that's the best time. So newsletter. Newsletter is the most powerful marketing tool that I know of, okay? And so Dan Kennedy says, nothing, and I mean nothing, builds an iron fence around your herd being your list, more than a monthly newsletter, okay? So that's powerful, coming from, the #1 guy that I've learned from. So the advantages of publishing a newsletter, okay? It's a profit generator. It's not an expense, because it builds loyalty and it brings repeat business to you, okay? Higher readership when done properly. You can't have, I highly suggest you never take on an industry newsletter that someone sells unless there is a component of diversity in the newsletter, meaning it's not just about industry crap. Nobody wants to read boring dental news or health news or whatever. It might be interesting, but it's not of pass-along value. You want stuff that, number one, says that rewards the customer or the clients by saying, hey, welcome to our new customers. Thank you for your referrals. Hey, here's our customer of the month. Hey, here's my favorite guacamole recipe. Here's words of wisdom from Mini-Me. That's what I do. You want to have stuff that creates interest, that gets them to read, okay? And especially if you can put their name in it, very, very powerful. Your competition is likely not publishing one. Even the best who are profitable are not using one. This is a way to create connection on a monthly basis. It makes you a celebrity in your own specific niche market, okay? So the more that you're in front of them, you take pictures with somebody. It could be a local celebrity, it could be a niche celebrity, meaning someone who's famous in your target market, could be a very popular celebrity. I have some with Guy Fieri, John Rich, country music singer, I forget her name, but Donald Trump's daughter, Ivanka. I got some good pictures. Larry Winget last year. It gets people talking, and they go, wow, see, that's awesome. How did you meet them? Well, I just happen to attend events where they're at. If you can do anything, and, James Malinchek, who is the college speaking success guy and the secret millionaire, he will pay $1,000 to go to an event, a fundraiser, if he has the opportunity to get a picture with someone famous. He did that with Michael Jordan. He's done it with a few others. But that starts a conversation, too, and he gets them invited to his speaking success seminars, which are outstanding, by the way, and I recommend you go to them if you can. But do what you can to get taking pictures with other celebrities because it makes you a celebrity in the process. It's a form of branding that actually works and pays for itself because the more you're in front of them, okay, don't make branding your number one thing. It'll happen as a happy byproduct of what you're already doing. Okay, direct response principles only. But when you're in front of them on a regular basis, you're branding yourself anyway. Oh, when you see that newsletter come in the mail, you're like, oh, cool, I've been waiting for this. And by the way, if you're not sending it out on a regular basis on the same time each and every month, they'll know and they'll tell you, okay? Once you get good at it, you actually can enjoy it. It used to take me 4 hours to do mine. I do it now in under 2 hours. I can go cut and paste, do a few things, and I know it's done. It's easy. Okay. You can test offers to roll out solo campaigns or mailing. Sorry about that miscellaneous automation there. But anyway, you can test offers to roll out solo campaigns or offers. So you can put a flyer in there, test an offer, see if it works. If you get response, then you can test it out and do a mailing to your entire list. It reminds customers to come back. Okay, it's not their job to remember to do business with you. It's your job to remind them of the extraordinary value you can provide to them. So you've got to stay in touch with them, just like you would a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a loved one, a friend, family member, that sort of thing. Okay, so characteristics of a good newsletter. Send out monthly. Okay, each month you don't send out a newsletter, you lose 10% of your herd. Okay, Dan said, I just said that, right? Every month you're not communicating with your herd, you're losing touch with at least 10% of them because they haven't heard from you, their lives changed, they're being catered or they're being communicated to by your competitors. So you must communicate with them on a regular basis. Paper and ink, better than email. I suggest doing email, but realize that my best response rate, my best, was 48%. But that's not my typical. My best response rates on an average are about 38%. And that's good as an industry average, okay? That means I have a connection with my audience. But so you can't rely on email to get through and maintain that relationship with your herd. You have to send it out by mail. It can be one page, it could be letter form, or it could be structured. Could have, a magazine or newsletter format. Offline can supplement online, and it should. okay? Again, don't rely on email alone because it doesn't get through to everybody. Again, if you were to send a birthday message via email or by birthday card that you receive in the mail, which is more valuable? I think taking the time to handwrite or send, through send out cards or something like that, send a mailing, something that you receive in the mail has much more value than just an email. So got to do an offline mailer. So in the contents of a good newsletter, provide some relevant content. I would say 25% at best. Okay, provide a tip on good marketing advice, about 25%. Have about 70 to 75% non-relevant content. What does that mean? That means, again, say hello to your new members or to your new clients. I'm saying members because I have members. Say clients, customers, welcome to the family. Thank you for the referrals. Thank you to people who bring people to you. A customer of the month or client of the month, that sort of thing, okay? But then you can also provide, again, like I have words of wisdom from Mini-Me, from my son. I write the article, but it seemingly comes from him, about something that I shared with him on the way to school or something like that. It's interesting. People are like, oh, I can't wait to read that. I get it all the time. They love it, okay? So provide non-relevant content more than you provide relevant content. Nobody wants to read all about your industry stuff, okay? It's a connection tool. Remember that. It's the way to keep and maintain a relationship, not necessarily an educational tool, okay? Provide information about the common enemy. Who's the common enemy in your business? Okay, could be the government, could be the state, could be your competitors, could be who else. It's like it's us against them. That's a powerful tool. Be the stern but loving parent. You're going to remind people, look, you said you wanted to do this, but you're not. So I'm here to tell you you must. Okay, be the stern but loving parent. Hey, I love you, but get off your butt and do something about it. Okay, it's that kind of attitude. Provide offers. Give offers. I would suggest that you do it in form of an insert. So you can still mail a newsletter through the U.S. Postal Service with an 11 by 17 folded, right? And then you can still put an insert for 48 cents. Now, you must understand, if it's not like 80-pound paper, I think 64-pound paper, then you have to put it in an envelope, okay? But if it's 80-pound paper or something like that and you have 2 tabs on the bottom, you can still run it. Those are new postal regulations that you need to know about. Things to write about: family, customers, celebrity photos. That, hey, I was at this dinner and I met so-and-so. I was running through the airport and I bumped into Guy Fieri, which is true. Write about your pets. I have Just Jack. I include him in a lot of stuff. Human interest stories, things you've done or things you've witnessed or things you've read about. Your staff, if you have any, talk about them. Use them as a character. You need a character. Mine is Mini-Me or Just Jack, right, my dog. Use them in your writing because it creates interest. It's like more than about you. It's not about you. It's about creating that connection with people. Your travels, humor, entertainment, new developments in your business or in your life. Examples. By the way, I would not go to that website that I just enabled. It's now called theultimateironfence.com. If you need help with your newsletter, if you don't want to write it each month, my friend Jim Palmer, he's my former business coach, but he's a great friend, has a service called the Newsletter Guru, and he has 3 different levels of service. One is they'll do everything for you. Another one is you provide the personal content. They'll provide everything else, and then the other one is they'll just provide you content that you can insert into a newsletter and mail out yourself. Several of our members are clients, and they do very, very good, especially one of our Ultimate Lead Generation Machine students here, and my mastermind member, Emily Letran. She uses it, and God, if you had seen her first newsletter compared to what it is today, huge difference. And I think she would admit that it is all to Jim Palmer and the feedback of the mastermind. So theultimateironfence.com if you're interested. Just check it out. Advanced newsletter strategies. So have monthly, multiple monthly newsletters, going to specific either niches or version it for male, female people, customers. I said students because Trevor's on the call. But you can version it for the person you're speaking to. Okay, so I have in my newsletter, I write one newsletter, but I have different inserts that go to members and different inserts that go to guests or prospects. Okay, so the different insert goes in there because I'm speaking a different language to people, in different ways. So you could do that. GKIC has an OBS marketing letter, the gold letter, the diamond letter, the marketing to the affluent letter, info marketing letter, and I don't know what else they have. Probably. Oh, they also have the over-the-shoulder program. So it's they have a lot. They do that every month. Cool. Dr. Greg Nielsen's strategy: frame an article you wrote about one of your customers and present it to them at their office. So if you highlight one of your customers or clients, bring it to them and frame it, and then take a picture of it, and then you can put that in your next newsletter. Okay, makes them a hero, makes you a hero, and creates publicity for you. Okay, that depending on what you wrote about could be used in local media. A great resource for writing personal copy is Dan's How to Create Personality and Copy. One of the top programs that I recommend. Influential Writing Workshop is very, very powerful. It's more advanced. So start with How to Create Personality and Copy, because then you can write from your own story, your own personal story, your own kind of, it's really about writing from your heart, but understanding the strategic elements that build connection and trust and rapport and friendship. Newsletter marketing. Every business should have a newsletter, okay, that you mail to your customers. That's one of the very first things I'll recommend to any new client or member. Decide on which format you want to start with and set aside time each month to do it. Schedule it. Don't just say, oh, I got to write the newsletter. No, schedule it. It's got to be an appointment with yourself, just like anything else. Okay, get it done, do it. Whatever elements you need from whatever resources you have, make sure they are together on that date and get it done and get it to the printer. If you already have a newsletter, go back over a list of the contents of a good newsletter and decide and determine how many of them you are currently using and how many you can bring in. If you are not if you don't know Dr. Brian Burke, who is also an Ultimate Lead Generation Machine investor, doer, marketer, ask him for a copy of his newsletter. Very, very cool newsletter. He does it very, very well. So well that Bill Glazer has, we were at the Super Conference a couple years ago, and Brian Burke was featured like about 17 times as examples of a powerful newsletter. Okay, Bill loves him, Dan loves him, I love him, and he's one of our Honorary Life chapter members. So if you need that email address to request to receive a copy of his newsletter, let me know. But you definitely need to be on his mailing list. Okay, another way to capitalize on your list is a sales letter, okay? Arguably the most successful form of direct mail it is. It's a salesperson going door to door, okay? With unlimited space, it allows you to tell your whole story, okay? Versus a brochure, versus a whatever. That doesn't allow you to tell your story. It doesn't, brochures tell, sales letters sell. The closest you can come to having a one-on-one conversation, like sitting across from your desk or a kitchen table, it's as powerful as that if done right. Allows you to use the three most read parts of direct mail. The headline captures their attention. Is this for me or is it not for me? The PS, people will automatically jump to the PS very often. Okay, and that's where you've got to capitalize on the power of a PS. PS is really just another headline, okay, to restate what has been said in the letter itself. And captions underneath photos. People are drawn to photos. So make sure every photo that you have in a sales letter and anything online or whatever, you have a caption underneath, okay, because that's a headline. Since it comes in an envelope, you can add other items to be enclosed in it to support your argument or to create curiosity, right? 3D mail, very powerful. You can go to Oriental Trading Company. You can go to the 99-cent store, whatever you got to do. One of our members, Seth Ricker, inserted a shovel into a sales letter because he was raising money for a cause. I forget where it was. I don't remember the specifics, but it was about raising money for a cause to dig for wells, right? So he included a shovel, a little shovel that you'd get, with a shovel and pail. He included that because it created curiosity. What's in this? I got to open it, okay? So it's very, very powerful. Two most common types of envelopes, the teaser, okay? It's best when used with a group of people you already know because it's like, hey, it's coming from Craig. I got to open it because it's coming from Craig. Use the entire envelope if you can, so you can put teaser copy on the front. Okay, like open this immediately, or your shovel is enclosed. What? What do you mean my shovel's enclosed? Of course I got to open it, right? Very powerful. The blind envelope is like sending a number 10 envelope with no return address, or at least an address with your name not on it. Okay, so best when used with a list of people who you do not know you. Okay, you don't use a label. You don't use a company name on your return address. No teaser copy. Use a live first-class stamp. Best if kind of put on messy, meaning tilted a little bit, because it looks like someone actually stamped it. And it works because it looks like it's coming from a friend. Okay, sometimes I have my son do the envelopes, address the envelopes, or at least stamp the envelopes, okay? And he tries to do it perfect, and I said, no, a little tilted. But it looks like it's coming from someone you know, right? And that allows for it to be opened more of the time than less of the time. Advanced sales letter strategies, the official looking envelope and letter. So if you're using like a FedEx envelope or a priority mail envelope, you can purchase a bulk amount of those envelopes online. I'll provide that for you as a resource after the call. But very powerful. Again, it looks official, right? The only goal, people don't like getting tricked, and I'll tell you why they don't like getting tricked. Usually because the message is not right for them. But if the message is right for them, they don't care, right? It got them to open the envelope, and that's all you care about first and foremost. Get them to open the envelope and read the first sentence, which is the headline, right? And get them to read the next, and the next, and the next, and take action, okay? Postcards. If you use postcards, they have lower postage rates, immediately identified as advertising. You're not going to fool anybody, so it's best to use with an audience that knows you, or you better have something valuable to say on the front. Great to use when sending a sequence, so you could use it as a second mailer. Hey, I sent you a letter about a week ago. Notice you didn't take action. Go watch this video. And if you can use a personal URL, to guide them to, even better. Since you never know what side they're going to look at first, have the offer on both sides. Have the deadline on both sides so they can see it, because it may be facing up or it may be facing down. Utilize it to your best ability. And if you have blank space, insert testimonials, right? I mean, you've got to have happy clients, I assume. All right, so that's it as it relates to that. These are powerful ways. Now, number one, to maintain the relationship with your target audience. And number two, if your newsletter or sales letter gets passed on, you're going to generate new leads as a result of it. So very, very powerful tools. So at this time, I'm going to open up the lines. If anybody has questions, please unmute and sock it to me.
Hey, Craig.
Hey, Trevor.
Hey, actually, I've been looking at the idea of creating a monthly newsletter, but what I'm trying to understand is if I should just make this for people that come into my sales funnel, or if I should just literally make it for everyone that I do business with overall.
That's a great question. I would suggest you do it to all of them, and if you can version it, again, version it to the people who are already customers or clients and have a message for them, meaning you can put an insert in there, or and then for the non-clients or people who haven't yet signed up with you, have a message for them as well. It's powerful because, again, life is a moving parade. So they may not be ready. They've raised their hand, or you've identified them as being an ideal prospect. Just because they don't say yes now doesn't mean they won't. And the more that you have that relationship with them via the newsletter, the more likely when they're ready, they're going to do business with you. So I highly suggest it.
Okay. So when you say an insert, you literally mean like, just another sheet that you put in there?
Yeah. Use both sides. You can put anything on it. You could put, if you're going to send it to either one, right, clients or not yet clients, have a message for them. Just type a letter and say, hey, thank you for being a great client. Here's what's going on this month. If you want to take advantage of this, that, and the other thing, or whatever you want to say. It could be graphic oriented, could be a flyer, could be a letter, it doesn't matter. But use the other side as well. Great way to get a newsletter is get someone to sponsor it for you so you don't have to pay for it. Who else wants access to your customers or clients that is not a direct competitor of yours? Get them to pay for it. I work with graphic designers and printers, and they're paying for my newsletter.
Wow.
Yeah, because I'm recommending direct mail and stuff like that. Why wouldn't they want access? Why wouldn't they want to be the preferred person that I send people to? So I get them to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had two other questions. Like one of them is, so I've seen some of these newsletters that have because I have 3 different segments in my market, at the very least 3, and what happens is people, after a short period of time, maybe even a couple months, they no longer need to know about how to get into school, or about financial aid forms and so forth. So should I just add an article of each 3 into each newsletter, or do them as inserts?
Yeah, I would do it as in your newsletter, you could have articles for different categories, or again, you could segment that newsletter going out to people who their kids already got into school, or they know what they're going to do, and you can have a separate letter because they probably know people who are going to go through the same thing they're going through. They might have younger kids, their family has younger kids, or their friends have younger kids, and you want to be the go-to person. So you do want to maintain that relationship, okay?
Yeah.
But you want to segment, if you can, that message. You want to message to market match. So have the same newsletter with varying different topics. Again, not all college related, but talk about, say, hey, I want to profile this client this month. Thank you and congratulations. Again, it shows that if you did something for them, you're showing that you did something for them and they were just outstanding, and it doesn't matter what they've done, but you just profile them. Say, my pick for this month is for Julia because Julia just got into Yale and blah, 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 blah. But you also want to have thank you for the referrals, thank you to our new clients for trusting us and allowing us to help them help their kids live their dream, blah, 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 blah. But then you have, again, personal stuff. You're going to write a paragraph or 2 about what's going on this month. Hey, I just got back from Vegas. I became a graduate of CEO Space, and what that means is blank and da-da-da-da. So I'm excited. Anybody interested in it, let me know, and I'll refer you to the local chapter. I mean, you just talk about your life. It's okay because it's about building trust and connection. And it's like you and I, if we don't talk once a week or at least once a month, right, we're going to lose connection. You're going to say, oh yeah, I haven't been to the meeting in a while. Oh well, no. But if I stay in touch with you, you're going to go, oh Craig, you remember. So you're going to do that with your clients.
Okay. Yeah, and then just the last thing was just the copywriting. I think I want to really be able to give good kind of nurturing autoresponder printed newsletter type of quality copywriting, and I really just don't know where to even begin with that kind of stuff. Just wanted to know what kind of resource would be the best place to start.
For a copywriter or to learn how to write?
For me to learn how to write, but not necessarily like writing the hardcore lead generation piece is just writing, nurturing copy to keep people interested?
Start with that course that I told you about, how to create personality and copy.
Okay.
That's like one of the most important courses you'll ever listen to. And again, the advanced version of that is the Influential Writing Workshop by Dan. So the first one it's like $397 and worth every single penny. The second one is about $2,000, but it's again worth every single penny. So I would invest in the former first, and you can check eBay or sometimes it's on there. But again, if you pay full price, it's absolutely worth it. I listen to it literally once a month.
Wow.
I mow the lawn, and that's the thing I listen to while I'm mowing the lawn. It's that powerful, and it reminds me to stay in check, right? Because it's easy. Last few months ago, I was promoting an event for someone else, and it loses touch with my ability to connect, because I'm promoting. No, I got to connect too. And so when I listen to that, it reminds me to get back in that mode and talk about me, you, things like that are important. So the email I sent out last night, if you got it, was like, how can I help you, right? I want to know how I can help you because, look, and I got about literally 50 emails from people telling me what their number one goal is. Okay, that's because I have a connection with people. They wouldn't do that if I was selling something. No, right. I'm selling. I want to help you. That's why I'm here. I'm going to be big this year, and I want you to be big too. And that's the personal connection I have, and I learned that powerful element through how to create personality and copy.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Burke.
You're welcome. All right. Any other questions before we hang up the call? All right. I'm going to stop recording, and Trevor, stay on the call for a second.